One thing I learned growing up, especially with my family, since it wasn't a lot of us, was to always trust and believe in them. While growing up, I always stayed with my grandma and my uncles because they're around my age. As long as with my older brother, my sister, me, and a family friend. At times we'll go to our house with my mom and dad, but since they're young parents, having my brother at 18, my sister I believe 20, my mom had her at 20 and she had me at 21, almost turning 22. So basically, most of my time was spent there with my grandparents' house because my mom and dad would be working. We would be working for the most part, most of the time. So while growing up, I would be with my uncles as long as with my brother and a family friend. And we all basically grew up together. My brother and their family friend, their family including him as a family member because how often he would be at our house because he was always alone. As him growing up with just his mom, and his mom's just working, so he'll always just be with us. So my grandparents consider him as a grandson because we're always at my grandma's house, so he will always be there. My grandma will feed him. My family will give him food, get him gifts, everything. And you know, they consider him a grandson. Me and my brother and my sister, since we're all so close, we consider him like a brother. And my mom even considered him as like one of her own kids. So basically, me and my brother, we grew up with each other, as long with the other like with other family. And later on, when we got older, over time, like after we grew up together practically since elementary to high school to college, and we all grew up with each other. And later on, when my brother got older, he didn't hang out with them as much or with us. But that's because you get a girlfriend, life moves on. Not that like you don't hang out with friends, but he still hung out with us. But most of his time was spent with his girlfriend. So most of the times would be spent there, and it was like that for a while. And then the family friend we had, he would be sad because he considered my brother like as his brother since he was always alone, and it would be there for the most part together. And he wouldn't hang out with them, and my brother wouldn't hang out with them as much. And most of the time, my brother would be with his girlfriend, and he wouldn't really be around the family anymore. He would just be with her. So me, like growing up with him and my family, we tell him like, don't be like that. Don't feel sad or like a type of way about it. He's always welcome. Since my brother wasn't around, like even though we all grew up together with him, he just didn't want to be around because he felt my brother didn't want him around. So I thought and decided to make it my priority, not like a priority, but like since we grew up together like a brother, I was like, I thought I'd make it to my priority, to always be with them, hang out with them, even with him, like even when my brother wouldn't come, and I would invite him like personally to the family parties, and we'll just hang out, normal. I'll go to his house, and yeah, after that, our family friend talks to my brother saying, days later on, months, stuff, years pass by. And after that, our family friend talks to my brother saying how he feels, and that my brother, which is his best friend, was never around him no more, and that he feels like he doesn't care about him, and that he sees him as a brother. Which later on ended up being an argument between my brother and him because they're both like we're acting at being like both acting a little weird, I guess. Just basically how he just came off. But me being like the one that grew up with them and with everyone, and me growing up with not just them but everyone, I cared, so I talked to my brother. I was like, oh, you should talk to him, you should be cool with them. And I same thing to the other one. I'm like, oh, you guys should talk and just hang out. And eventually, like I talked some sense into both of them, and they both hang out. They hung out and everything, and it was fine. They'll go eat. They start hanging out more all over again to the point where like they'll be at each other's houses. Like it was like a brother, like if or like a real close family member. Like if anyone that has that, like you're just always there, always talking to them, like that favorite cousin or that that favorite like little brother. So it would be we'll go over to then later on since eventually we all got older. We're around the same age now, and we'll go over to each other's houses like crazy. I'll even it'd be like if I was drunk, I'll pass out over there. I'll go to his house, like the family friend, or I even just go hang out with them just to eat, go shop. Which ended up being a daily thing, and my brother ended up coming, and it started being more often with my brother. So we made it like an every weekend thing. So it'll be my brother, his girlfriend, me, the family friend, to the point where we even had other friends start hanging out every weekend and be in my brother's house. So my brother was the only one with the place, and all those would meet up, drink, smoke, and throw parties every weekend. But eventually, it came to an end because spending so much time together with someone was fun. But then I feel like it always comes to a point where you spend too much time, and the person just gets too comfortable and just crosses like a boundary. So that's where it all came to an end. And the family friend we grew up with started feeling like he could talk to me and disrespect me, saying personal things and saying things my family wouldn't even say to me. And I confronted him many times just between me and him because, we all grew up together. We were a family. And so that's the way I saw him. Like, oh, that's like an older brother. Like, I wouldn't argue with him. Like, And so, and I confronted him many times just between me and him. I said, hey, he would say sorry or just try to brush it off. But I always believed in him because I saw him as family the same way everyone else in my actual family does. Which brings me back to the saying at the beginning of the story, which is like, it always trust, and which I grew up learning was always trust and believe in family. So I trusted and believed him that his sorry and everything was true. So one day I got mad and I called him because he was talking disrespectful. And after this point I was taking disrespect so from him. So and I called him saying we have an issue with me, it could get solved. Like it could get solved between me and him. Otherwise, like just stay quiet. Like there's no point to be disrespectful for no reason. And it was to the point where he would disrespect me and try to put me on a spot in public or even on the days I would be with my brother and our friends on the weekend and with my family. So I gave him that call, and after that call, I said, okay, I won't talk to you no more or nothing because I'm telling him that he's annoying, stop doing all that. Before I solve this way, he doesn't want to take it. So I gave him that call because it was to the point where he would disrespect me too much, like where my own blood brother wouldn't even do something like that. So and that's the way I sound like family. So we'll hang out on the weekends, and I will still see him. But we wouldn't talk. But he would give me like a vibe like he hated me. So soon after that, everyone knew, and even my actual brother, and then our family friend would throw like smart remarks and say disrespectful things, and even my own brother would watch because it was in front of everyone and didn't say a thing. So on the last time I believe we hung out, which was a while back already, it was at my brother's because my brother was the only one with the place. And it was my brother at the time. It was my brother, my brother's girlfriend, and another friend we had, and the family friend. So when I came over, automatically I felt like a vibe off with my brother's girlfriend, where she's already kind of weird, iffy towards me, but that's a whole different story. She just has a weird vibe, and with my brother, with my brother's girlfriend, but when I was there, they were acting off towards me because I caught a ride to get over there, and till my brother came in, they started acting like normal, and but I still felt like a bit off, like a vibe from them. like if you're unwanted somewhere, which was weird because they would invite me every weekend. Every weekend they'll call me personally like, hey, come over here, cause you know I always would hang out every weekend. It was like a little family thing with friends. So soon after that, the family friends started disrespecting me and started talking bad about me with smart remarks in front of everyone. So I answered back, of course, being tired of brushing over the smart remarks and disrespect. So after noticing I was unwanted, even by my own brother at his house, and everyone there, I had left. And this is where the story gets like kind of interesting. So I have left and I walked out without knowing my brother and my family friend were following me without me knowing. And I ended up, and then once like I saw them, I turned around. As soon as I turned, the family friends started face fighting me. And you know, obviously, when it comes to a little fight, you know, stuff happens. So we're fist fighting. I won. If you guys were wondering, I won. He didn't get me, but while he was fighting, my brother just stood there watching, not doing a thing, just let everything happen. So so obviously, you know, him being my brother, growing up all together, I did feel a certain type of way. So basically, I guess where it comes with this story is that like, so uh, no matter like if even though you grew up loving family and following morals like loving them, always be with them, and trust them and believe in them. Uh, always trust them, believe in them because they always be there for you. Which was I learned was false. So what I learned was that don't trust no one, not even family, because even though you love them, it doesn't mean they won't ever turn on you. No matter what you learn growing up, it doesn't always seem to be true. No matter who it is, if it's with family or even like a real close, you know, like a boyfriend or girlfriend, at the end of the day, a lot of people will still do stuff you wouldn't expect. So, based overall, that's my story. And I feel like it was a little life lesson. And no matter who it is, people don't always have you like they say they do, whether it's family or not. Thank you, and that was my little story.